Yetis, Mr. Smith here. I hope everybody had an amazing Labor Day weekend. We're here talking about the Snowy Peaks Challenge hike, which is going down this Friday, September 8th. So let's go into some details here. So after this video, we're going to send out a Google form to families and students, and we're going to ask either the family or the student fill out that Google form to give us all the information we need to plan for this Friday. And if we get responses from both the student and the parent, we're going to trust the parent. Sorry, seniors. Okay, so the Snowy Peaks Challenge hike, we go up Quandary Peak. We're going up there this year. It is a mandatory student activity, but that means we want everybody to participate. Not everybody has to get to the top, right? We call it a challenge by choice with an emphasis on the word challenge. We want all students to set a goal and meet that goal that is a challenge for them. And yes, families are always welcome on these kind of events here at Snowy Peaks. So the first thing we want to talk about is how are we going to get to the trailhead at Quandary off of Blue Lakes Road in Blue River, okay? And so the first option are for those students who are really going to push for the summit and want to get there early. So we're going to have a group of students meet here with the staff at 6:45 in the morning, okay? And so that group is going to take a white bus and possibly some staff vehicles if needed, up to the trailhead, leaving Snowy Peaks at 7 a.m. They should be getting to the trailhead and starting their hike around 7:45 a.m. So if you want to join that early group, but don't want to meet at Snowy Peaks because maybe you live in Blue River or whatever, you just want to make sure that you get to the trailhead up there by around 7:45 a.m. All right, so that's the early group leaving at Snowy Peaks at 7 a.m. And heading up there. We are going to have limited space in that group, so it's really important to make sure you fill out that Google form early if that's part of your plan. And so we will likely only have space for students in that group. Okay, the next option is there is a free shuttle for Summit County residents. Leaves every hour on the hour from the South Gondola lot in Breckenridge. So you just have to go to hikequandary.com and make a reservation. We will run a big yellow bus up there from school, leaving school at 8:15 a.m. sharp. So when school starts, we'll load the bus and head on up there. Other option there is if you want to get dropped off by somebody, you can get dropped off at somebody. We would ask that you get up there about 8:45. So when the big yellow bus pulls up, you're waiting for us and we can all head up. Okay. And then the last option is if you want to pay, I think it's like $56. If you want to split rides and each chip in, or if the family wants to pay, you can pay also at hikequandary.com and make a reservation, $56. And we would just ask that everybody be there at 8:45 a.m. Obviously, if you want to go up there and park at the trailhead before that 7:45 group leaves, you can get there early and meet them up there as well. So hopefully that all makes sense. Reach out to me if it doesn't. Okay. Here is a picture of the challenge by choice. So what we tell all students is we want them to either make it to the ridge line, which is kind of like above tree line and that first turn where you go up to the face. We want you to go up to the saddle, which would be goal number 2, or their goal 3 is going to be that they make it all the way to the summit. So what we say is we want all students to kind of keep making progress towards that next goal until 12 o'clock. And then at 12 o'clock p.m., we're all going to turn around, regardless of where we are, and start heading back down the trail. And that will give us enough time to get back down to the parking lot, load the bus, get people home on time. In addition, for safety, we're going to have a staff member with that very, very first early group leading the way, and then we're going to have what we call a sweep, a staff member bring up the rear, and we're going to keep all students between those two staff members so that we know where all students are. We'll have walkie-talkies and be able to communicate for safety, okay? So there we go. So just a bigger picture of Quandary. Even though it does look like, there's some steep areas and cliffs and things like that, the trail is very well defined and never really has a big overhang next to it. It's a pretty safe climb. Okay, so to be prepared, make sure that your student is ready to wear sunscreen. We'll have some, or if they want to apply their own, a medication or inhaler. If they have any sort of EpiPen, inhaler, medication that they need, we must be in the know on that, and they must, make sure that they have access to it. Warm layers in the early morning. It is very cold when we start the hike, and it gets really cold at the top. And then in between, they're going to want to peel those layers off. So, good idea is to have a hat, proper footwear with socks. Maybe the more stylish shoes aren't the best shoes for the hiking. They definitely want to bring an empty backpack, no school stuff with it, only hiking supplies. Lots of water. We recommend about 50 ounces of water. So that might be a large water bottle plus a smaller one, or two large water bottles, making sure that they have snacks and lunch. So we have ordered 60 sack lunches from the cafeteria. So we'll be able to provide up to 60 students with lunches. And then hopefully the rest are planning on bringing their own. You'll let us know your lunch plan in that Google form that I mentioned. Hiking poles if you want to bring them. And then we do ask that students really focus on making progress on the hike, and enjoying nature without any distractions. So no speakers. We do allow them to wear headphones, but no hammocks or other things like that. And then bring their positive mental attitude and a willingness to challenge themselves. Okay, so how are we getting home at the end of the day? So basically, the simple rule is however the student went up is likely the plan that they should use to come down. Okay, we have set that an expectation that all students would be making forward progress or hiking until 12 o'clock. All students must check out with a staff member. So all students are going to sign in when they start hiking. And then it's really, really important that they make sure they sign out. And we'll have a shade tent set up there for that to happen. So students can travel back to school on the bus, whether they took the white bus or the yellow bus, depending on what time they left the school. They can take the shuttle back to Breckenridge Gondola Lot if they made a reservation to take the shuttle. They could have the parent who dropped them off also pick them up between 12 and 2. Now, remember, there is very limited self-service in the parking lot. You can get self-service when you're up a ways, but in the parking lot, it is very limited, okay? And so you definitely want to set a time to meet your kiddo, or the parents and student meet prior to the hiking day. And then if you drive up and you pay to park up there, then pretty easy. You're just going to get in your car and drive home. But again, make sure that you sign out with a staff member. Okay, so on this Google form, I'm going to be asking you, how are you getting to the trailhead? What's the student's goal? What is the student's plan for water, snack, and lunch? Will any family members be joining us? Do you have a plan for clothing, hat, sunscreen, medication, and shoes? Typo there. And then how are you getting home? Okay, I hope that kind of gives you a real solid base of information for that activity. We also sent the one pager last week that has a lot of information on it. That's my cell phone. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Text me if you have any questions, and we hope to see you. It's going to be an amazing time. Thanks. Have a great day. See you soon.